little extra thing that I do. So during the training, I want to touch on just a little bit about American Home Shield as a company, because we're co-branded. I feel that that's really important that you know just a little bit about it. I want to go over the benefits of the coverage to you as the realtor and to the sellers and the buyers. I'm going to go over the 3 new packages we have to offer and how to set up proper expectations. That's really, really important. First off, let me just tell you a little bit about us. As a company, we founded the home warranty industry in 1971, and we're the nation's leader in the industry with a 42% market share, and our nearest competitor has a single-digit share. We've paid over $1.6 billion in homeowners claims in the last 5 years, and I really feel this statistic is important because it shows that we're here to service our customers, not sell the home warranty and hide. As a matter of fact, if you provide us with the buyer's email address, we send them a personalized welcome video that tells them exactly what coverage they have and how to go about requesting service. So we need those emails because we want to contact them. We actually have 3 call centers in the USA and employ over 1,500 individuals who take 10 million phone calls per year. So this is important because if one of our call centers goes down due to weather or another unforeseen event, we still have 2 other call centers available to continue to support your client's needs. So we actually have live customer support available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year. And like I said, I provide these statistics so you can be assured that you're offering the company that provides the very best service in the industry. So let's just go over some of the reasons why we have a product change. Our biggest reason for developing the new product was due to the fact that we listened to our customers' needs and wants. The last time we made a product change was about 4 years ago when the Flex plan was introduced. And back then, I think the most important part of that product change was the fact that we started covering for undetectable pre-existing conditions. You know, that was really huge, and we've saved our customers a lot of money over the past years due to that one particular change. So over the past 4 years, we have actively pursued the opinions of our customers that we've served over that time. That would be you, the realtors, and the homeowners, and our technicians. And by using that feedback, we believe we've actually addressed all of their needs and concerns. So the result is actually, you'll see it's a reorganized and restructured and rebundled warranty that fits all of our customers' needs and budget. So this is what we heard. You want the home to sell quickly and for a warranty to handle post-close and pre-close and post-close issues without spending too much time explaining the warranty to your customers. So you really just wanted it to be simpler. So the results are a simplified, innovative, fresh real estate home warranty. So as you may already have heard, the new product rolls out on October the 15th. And it's strictly for real estate customers. The 3 new packages are called the Shield Essential, the Shield Plus, and the Shield Complete. And these packages will be replacing our Flex plan. So let's go over some of the important changes. The new real estate warranty listing coverage will now be one easy choice for your sellers. It's going to be the Shield Essential. And it's still no obligation for them to purchase, even if they have the opportunity to use it. So it's still a really great marketing tool. And I'm going to go into the details of that seller's coverage here in a little bit. We have a lower starting price point for homes that are less than 10 years old. And all our packages have the great added value of the undetectable pre-existing conditions, along with many other of the items that we used to have to add additionally and were frequently actually forgotten. So we built all those in. Now the buyers can actually choose from any of the 3 packages, the Shield Essential, the Shield Plus, or the Shield Complete. But as I mentioned earlier, in order to make it easier for the realtors to explain the listing coverage to the sellers, The Shield Essential will be the only package offered during the listing period. It's really the only package that they need because this is the one that covers all of the most expensive fixes in the home. So we're going to cover the heating, the air, the ductwork, the plumbing and electrical, and the water heater. But it also includes the enhancements that our current Service Plus package covers. So we don't want to forget the importance of the undetectable pre-existing conditions and the coverage for the systems that break down due to lack of maintenance. So that's really important. Rachel, do you want me to go in more depth about using the no obligation seller's coverage? Because I'd be happy to do that.
Sure, if you want to just briefly go over it.
Okay, so let me just explain it a little bit further. Basically, by explaining to your sellers that by using you as a realtor, they can have the home warranty during the listing period as long as the house is on the market. We initially give you 6 months, okay? And once the 6 months is over, we send a status request to see if you still have it listed. And then we can extend it another 6 months. Essentially, you can have it covered for up to 18 months, okay? There are a few guidelines that apply, and but that's because we have to cover ourselves. You realize that the greatest part about this coverage is that you can use the coverage during the time the home is on the market and even have a repair or replacement done during that time. Now, if the home comes off the market or the warranty is negotiated out of the contract at closing, it could be canceled with nothing owed at all. So there's no loopholes to that. The only time the extra cost for the seller's coverage is due is when the contract is purchased at closing. So I hope you all can really grasp the benefit of just at least offering this to your sellers and just taking a moment to explain to them there really is no obligation, even if we do pay out on a claim. Are there any questions about that at this time? Okay, well, let's go on, and we'll actually dive into the 3 packages themselves. Here are the 3 options. We have good, better, and best, and the 3 packages just continue to build upon each other to suit every homeowner's needs. So we have the Shield Essential. It's for homeowners who just want the most expensive systems covered. The Shield Plus for the systems and appliances, but then it's now including the washer, dryer, and refrigerator. And then the Shield Complete, which is the Shield, the Essential, the Plus, and the additional coverage for, say, garage door openers, ceiling fans, and more. So let me just go ahead and break those down individually. So for the Shield Essential, we're covering all the major systems, including the heating, air, and ductwork, plumbing and electrical, and water heaters, with the added coverage enhancements of our previous Service Plus package. So here are your coverage enhancements. We cover for lack of maintenance, rust or corrosion, sediment in the water heater, the AC refrigerant recapture, reclaim, and disposal, removal of defective unit if one needs to be replaced, mismatched systems, that's your condenser and your compressor, things that are repaired improperly or installed improperly previously. As I said, the undetectable pre-existing conditions is very important in the permits and code violations. So I know I've said undetectable pre-existing conditions probably 5 times now. I'm going to tell you what that actually means. So the way we determine a detectable pre-existing condition is based off a visual or a basic mechanical test. So if you're walking through the house and you see the glass on your oven door is broken, that's a detectable pre-existing condition. Or if you try to turn on the dishwasher and the dishwasher just does not turn on, that's a detectable pre-existing condition. But say, for example, you're doing a walkthrough, you turn on the dishwasher, it's running, but after the homeowner moves in, they turn on the dishwasher, and once the water starts going, it starts, leaking all over the place. that's an undetectable pre-existing condition. And that also can apply to your HVAC system. If you go in and it's wintertime, you turn on the air conditioning and it turns on, but you can't tell if it's blowing cold. When the homeowner moves in, they turn it on and it's just not cooling. That's an undetectable pre-existing condition. And this is included in all three of our packages.
Hey, Stacey, we have a few questions.
Okay, that's fine.
So for the systems, are water softener systems covered in that? That Shield Essential?
No, that water softeners used to be an option. Okay, and I'm going to hit on that in a little bit.
Okay.
We no longer cover water softeners, and I'm going to tell you why. I've run into quite a few different circumstances where we have a water softener that is supposed to be eco-friendly, okay? Well, it takes the minerals out, but it still leaves the spots on the dishes. So that is the way that water softener works. Well, the homeowner that moves in might not like the way that water softener works and, believes that it's not working right. We have run into a lot of different circumstances with water softeners and found that it's just not something that we can cover anymore.
Okay. And then how does a mold factor into an undetectable condition on those systems?
Well, we just don't cover for mold, period. So if you have mold in the house, that's a secondary type of damage that can result from a malfunction. Okay.
Okay.
So that is something that I'm going to touch on in a little bit also.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Not at this moment.
Okay. Well, let's go on to the Shield Plus, which, as I said, is the Shield Essential, covering your systems, the coverage enhancement, and the appliances. So you're going to get the washer, dryer, refrigerator with ice maker, the built-in microwave oven, the dishwasher, the garbage disposal, and the range oven and cooktop. So at this time is where I really like to take a look at your brochure. So does everybody have a brochure? And if you turn to the inside of the last page, you'll see your pricing and your application. So what I like to point out is the Shield Plus, the over 10 years old, is most likely going to be our most popular product, okay? Now you can see the price is $550. Our previous product that would be comparable was the Flex Plan Combo at $525 plus the washer, dryer, and refrigerator at $110. So to get all that coverage, you were looking at $635, basically. Well, now you're getting it for $550. So I really like to point out that because we rebundled it, you're getting more coverage for a lower price. And then the additional Shield Complete, we found these items were in our combo, but were less important to customers. So we rebundled it, and the Shield Complete is your ceiling fans, doorbell, telephone wiring, garage door openers, instant hot water, and exhaust and whole house fans. So we found that these are items that we actually rarely come across repairing, and our homeowners told us that these were less important. So that's why I really like to focus on the Shield Plus being really your best buy for your customers. And as I said, we still have options. We just have fewer of them. We have added the saltwater pool coverage, which I don't think y'all have up there, but it has been added. And then we have the additional refrigerator, the well pump and septic.
So I thought you were originally planning on removing the well pump coverage completely. Has that been changed?
Yeah, you know what? We went through that test period where we removed those options from our paperwork, but we found that they were still being added, more frequently than the others, so we decided to keep it.
Okay.
So here are some of the biggest changes. We now have a lower price point for homes under 10 years old. Buyers now have 60 days rather than 30 days after the closing to purchase the real estate home warranty or to make changes to it. And we're now offering a 2-year home warranty. Basically, I heard that asked for, many, many times. And I think that this is a great product or version for that sellers might want to offer to their buyers if a buyer's inspector determined that maybe the HVAC unit is on its last leg. It's functioning, but his prediction is it's going to go out in the next year or so. The seller might want to offer the 2-year warranty just to get the buyer to, go over the fence and actually make that decision to purchase a home. Or if the buyer is in love with a house, but their inspector said, that's the case, they might want to, think about purchasing the 2-year version. You have to call in to get that pricing. But what I've noticed is it's about, 2 times the cost of the warranty with a little bit of a discount, maybe a 10 or 15% discount. So a little bit of a discount there. We're now covering wine refrigerators under the additional refrigerator option. And that additional refrigerator option went down by $10, and it's now only $15. And one of the best things is the increase to the seller's coverage limit. It used to be $1,500. Now it is $2,000. So you have to look at it this way. Your seller could essentially have, something replaced. Say they need to actually have their AC unit replaced. And there's a limit of $2,000. The cost of the replacement might be $3,000, but we're going to cut you that check for $2,000. And then the seller might decide they don't even want the coverage and cancel it and owe nothing at all. So we have to have a limit, but I think it's great that we actually increase that limit to $2,000. Any questions about this particular screen?
Yeah, Stacey, Doug has a question. Tell me if you can't hear him. The septic sewage.
Does the septic system, the septic sewage coverage include engineered systems?
I cannot answer that question, but I can look into it. Engineered.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
System? I don't, actually.
In our part of the country, because our soils tend to be very heavy clay soil, a conventional septic system that is a holding tank that empties into a drain field sometimes doesn't work, and we have to have specially constructed, there's all kinds of them, but basically they're sand-bound systems that are specifically engineered to allow the effluent to drain. And so they tend to be somewhat more complex from an engineering standpoint and certainly from an expense standpoint. But they're very common in our area.
Now, our septic coverage, if you look, we haven't, in this particular brochure, you don't have the actual contract and the coverage for it, but the septic is going to cover the pumping of the septic tank if it becomes blocked or stopped up, okay? So it's not the septic system, it's the pumping of the system and the well pump. So we're going to cover the well pump. I will research this further and find out what exact parts of the engineered systems are covered. And I will email Rachel and she can get back to you on that, okay? But I do want to look into that further. All right?
Yeah, sounds good. Any other questions? Nope, we're good over here.
Okay, all righty. Well, let's see. Oops. We just have a few things I wanted to go over. Revised and removed. We revised coverage for the geothermal water source heat pumps. I don't know if these are common in your area. They're very intricate types of systems, so we do have a limit on those, but it has increased from 1,500 to 2,000. Also, the glycol hot water steam system limit has increased from 15 to 2,000. Permits and code violations have changed from 250 per occurrence to 250 per term, but those are individual permits, and so if they're separate, they each have a $250 limit. Our appliance replacement and repair limit is $2,000. So I want to point out that the contract does have limitations, but I'm pointing out like every single one in the contract, okay? So this just helps you set proper expectations with your customers. And as I said, we did remove some things, the built-in food center, trash compactors, those just seem to be something that people don't have any longer. We don't cover for the central vacuums, freestanding ice makers, water softeners, or smoke detectors. So just to let you know, those are some things that have changed. And we do have different price points available. As you can see, the prices for single-family dwelling, condos, and new constructions are actually on the brochure, and you'll have to call in to get pricing for plexes, the duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes. Also, we cover guest houses, and as I said, our new 2-year version. So for those items, you'll have to call in to get pricing. Otherwise, the other ones are provided for you on the brochure, or it would just be one crazy pricing mess on there. So now that we've discussed what we do cover, we do have items that are not covered, similar to your real estate contracts, and these are there are conditions and exclusions in the home warranty contract. So as I touched on a little bit, we don't cover for routine maintenance, but we do cover for things that break down due to lack of maintenance. We don't cover for upgrades or lack of capacity. If you have a 4,000, 5,000 square foot house and you have a 2-ton air conditioner, it's not built to cool off that much space. So that's an issue there. We don't cover for for secondary damage. That's going to be your homeowner's insurance. We don't cover for pest or mold damage. Something I like to point out is I've run across where an air conditioning condenser coil has just eroded away because the pet dog decided they wanted to keep relieving themselves on the air conditioner. Now that's not normal wear and tear. That's pest or mold damage. We don't cover for improper design, missing parts, structural modifications that might occur if we're doing a replacement of a water heater or an HVAC unit. Sometimes the new systems are bigger and require a bigger area. And we don't cover for shared systems or appliances in multi-units. Oops, I went too far. Okay, so here we have some things that I want you to know and remember. AHS doesn't require a home inspection. It's covered no matter the age or whether the home is occupied or if it's a foreclosure property. You know, sometimes the utilities aren't even on in the home when the buyer buys the property. That's where the good undetectable pre-existing conditions can come into play. If possible, we're going to repair rather than replace. And our replacement policy doesn't require us to replace with the exact brand or color that the homeowner had, but does provide appliances with similar and equal features, capacity, and efficiency. Now, we're going to do our very best to get as close as possible, but if the homeowner doesn't want what we have to offer, we'll give them cash in lieu in order to purchase exactly what they want. Or say they want to upgrade, we'll give them cash in lieu, and then they can actually go through our appliance purchasing department and get a unit at a discounted rate. So that's just another benefit that the buyers have. If they have, you know, old appliances in their home, but they're still working and they want to remodel their kitchen, they can go through our appliance purchasing department and get all of those units at a discounted rate. One of my brokers did that and actually saved about $1,500. So that's just an additional added benefit to having the warranty. Now, it's important to set proper expectations, as I've said many times during the training. Just like any contract, there's limitations and exclusion. Our warranty is designed for budget protection, okay? Now, even without a warranty, when something breaks down, we know it's not convenient. But when a buyer has something break down in that first year, we really know that they've used most of their money, if not all, to purchase the home and have very little left, you know, to take care of unexpected breakdowns. That's when a warranty can really come into play to save your buyer's pocketbook. So have your buyers ask for a warranty, because all the sellers can say is yes or no. And if it's your sellers that are being asked, they should already be protected by the no obligation listing coverage, since nothing is due until the closing anyway. So Rachel actually put together a list of some questions that she wanted me to answer. But before I go into those, are there any other questions I can answer?
Yeah, one second.
I would like more information about the condition. How do they determine if something is pre-existing condition? She gave some examples of
Could you touch on a little bit more about how a contractor would determine if it was a pre-existing condition?
Well, you know, we really rely on our professional contractors to be able to determine if something was pre-existing. Now, if your contract started yesterday, you place a work order today, and the technician came out, and there's, you know, trying to think of something. If he can tell that a certain unit's been leaking, and it would have been able to be identified as a pre-existing condition just by a visual inspection, then yeah, he's a professional. He'll be able to determine that. But let me give you an example, and that's a good question, because that's one of the questions that Rachel actually posed. It says, how can an inspection relate to a home warranty? And I said, as we all know, it's always a great idea for an inspection to be done when you're purchasing a new home. The good thing about the warranty is that if the seller has the listing coverage during the time the home is listed prior to an inspection, and something comes up during that inspection that the sellers were unaware of, the home warranty can be called to make that repair. Also, sometimes it's also known to happen that if a tech comes out and they'll determine something was a known pre-existing condition when it really wasn't. So not that that happens frequently, but I've been here a long time, so I've seen it happen. If the buyer actually had an inspection report that says differently, I can actually turn that inspection report into my service assistant to have that denial overturned. So, you know, there are times that there's going to be a disagreement between what that tech said and what the buyer said, but they always can rely on an inspection that they have, or they can always call in a second opinion. So we have that to offer you. And if the second opinion determines that is not the case, they won't have to pay that second service fee. But you know what? Frequently, if you call me and we have to put in a second opinion, I can just waive that service fee for you anyway.
And Stacey, maybe that's a good segue.
Go ahead.
maybe that's a good segue. We have a couple of new agents who are new to ERA. Could you just briefly go over, I can't remember if I gave you this question, how a contractor is approved and how that process happens?
Yeah, you know what? I think that was actually one of your questions. Now, your question was, how can agents get help getting a contractor approved through you, and what is the process? So we always welcome referrals for contractors in your area. And because we're designed to save the homeowners money, we recruit local licensed and insured technicians that are willing to do work on a specific pay scale. Therefore, we have to promise them a certain amount of business per year. Okay? So we always make sure we have the very best that your local area has to offer, and we give them the business that they need in return. So, for example, you give us a name and contact information for an appliance repairman. If we don't already have one or two preferred technicians in that area, we're definitely going to be contacting them, talk to them about, you know, what kind of business they can expect to get from us, and you know, the pay scale that we pay on. So I'm being really open to you that, like I said, we're here to for budget protection. So all of our contractors work on a specific pay scale, and you know, they're not setting their own rates like they can if they're, you know, just a technician out there. But so that's really how that works. So you just give me the information on referrals that you would like, and I have, you know, one specific contractor relations person that handles the different trades. So I have one AC guy and one appliance guy and one plumbing guy. Okay. So if you have a technician that you'd like us to contact about working with us, all you have to do is give Rachel the name and the contact information so that I can get it to my contractor relations department. Okay?
Yep, sounds good.
Let me see. Let me move on to, let me see. We answered that question. Here's a question you have that says, can you give us numbers of how many home warranties our company specifically signs up per year? So basically, I have a report, and last year, as of the end of September, y'all had 49 closings with a home warranty with American Home Shield. This year, you're at 45. So we're really close to last year's numbers, and you guys are a really great company, and I'm really here to assist you. So if you ever have any questions or concerns, I want to make sure everybody's satisfied. I went over the inspections. You have a question, what are the stats on how much faster a home sells with a home warranty? Now, we had a third-party company do this research on how fast and by how much money do homes sell with an American Home Shield warranty. And Cannon and Company showed that homes with an AHS warranty sell an average of 11 days sooner, and with a sales price as averaged at $2,300 higher than homes without a home warranty. So that's a third-party report statistic. We didn't make that report, and so that's just another way to use that as a way of promoting the warranty to your customers. And the last question was, how many calls or fixes have there been in the state of Montana in a year span? So I contacted each individual contractor relations, and we have 200 HVAC work orders, 140 plumbing work orders, 250 appliance work orders, and 90 electrical work orders. And I was told our busiest area in Montana is Bozeman, Billings, and Helena. So we have a lot of activity going on in that area. Montana being pretty rural, I don't know how those numbers compare to any other state, but that's the numbers I came up with. So that really concludes my training. I didn't want to take too much of everybody's time. Are there any other questions at this point that I can, go over?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Okay.
I think it was 2,300. Yeah. Oh, I answered it. Anyone else questions? I think that's it, Stacy. Thanks so much for pulling those numbers.
Yeah, I have an email that provides those stats on the seller's coverage. If you want me to send that to you, and you can share that with your agent, okay?
Sure. Yeah, that's perfect.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sitting through all of these details. And if you have any questions afterward, this is my contact information, but Rachel and I communicate frequently, so just get with her, and she knows that she can get the answer from me. And I'm going to look into that engineered septic and get back to you, okay?
Thanks. Have a good day.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay, so I did want to just go over kind of how in-house home warranties work. Thanks for sitting through that. That was a little bit longer. There's a little flow chart. So there are kind of a lot of steps, and it depends, whether you're having seller's coverage, buyer's coverage. But to basically go down, so when you're getting all of it, let's say you have a listing, you're talking with your seller, you have all your mandatory forms. This is one of our mandatory forms. The reason for that is it's part of our E&O insurance. It is a negotiated price through ERA Corporate and AHS. So this price, if someone in the general community called AHS, they don't have that price. So that's why there's that 60-day after closing time period, because it is a special price based on our franchise. So that's the reason why we make it mandatory. They can either accept or decline. If you're selling your own house, Robin requires it to be mandatory. So if you're coming to that situation, that's why. It was too bad that Ray is a big advocate. He gets a lot of his listings to have a home warranty, and he'd be a good resource of how he presents it and why he thinks that it might make a house sell faster. So if you ever have any questions of how to approach your client with that information, he might be a good resource. I know Sharon does a lot.
It seems that when you sell it, you still got to sell it just
not necessarily. So AHS can never require that you provide them with any of that information. So they can't ask you, give me your property disclosure.
There might be a temptation on some sellers or myself to I mean, that was sort of my earlier question. What prevents the seller from calling in to repairs and then use their
It happens all the time.
Okay. So
it's not, I mean, I can't, I'm not supposed.
Right. But it's, I can see how there would be a temptation, especially for home trying to change the fixture. There might be a temptation.
It's the same with that. Like I was saying to Jim before we started, it's like with any insurance company. I'm sure that in car insurance fraud happens all the time. It's just.
But it's not our place.
It's an honor system. Right. Yeah, so there's no money required up front from any seller. The only money that gets changed is at the closing table, and any title company pulls that money on your settlement statement, and they send that check to that. So that's the only time money is exchanged. So, and it's like she was saying, it can get negotiated out of the contract, and nobody owes money. Even if you have replacements, repairs, service help, any of that. Okay, so your sellers accept or decline. Let's say that they do accept it. We would need you to fill out one of those forms. These are the new packets, so we'll be throwing away all of our old ones. Probably October 14th. live till October 15th. Okay, so you'll have to have your seller pick what's planned, and that's something that you'll just go over with your sellers. And if you guys have any questions, since this is brand new, you can always send your clients to call me if they really have questions every once in a while. It's great if you guys can explain it, but I'm happy to help in any way I can. A lot of the interruptions in the deal happen with this data collection form. Oh, I actually have it on my desktop. I'm gonna get out of here. No. Oh, actually, probably actually. I haven't seen the new one. So it's this form. We need the main importance of that form is, well, for the appliances and the brand names, and that goes to their underwriters. But it also triggers our in-house system to get the title company, to get the invoice to the title company, which will then go on the settlement statement. So there's a few different ways the title company gets the information that there is a home warranty. One is on the closing information sheet that we provide from ERA that I send over with the buy-sell or earnest money check. There's that little line that says buyer protection plan. You put yes or no. That's one way for them to recognize. But this is the most important way because I enter all this information and it gets sent to the title company. And then you guys don't have to do anything. And you don't have to provide that confirmation. And so this basically just needs to be filled out before closing. It doesn't change the validity of the home warranty. Your home warranty is effective immediately. As soon as I get it into the system, which I can do in a 2-minute span, it's effective for your sellers, your buyers, even though AHS requires that they receive their check from the title company or from Kristen, who sometimes gets the check, within 15 days, it's still effective.
If they're declining the insurance, you still need to
No.
You don't need to give you
No.
box to check
If you decline, if they decline it, they need to sign on this last page. Yeah.
Okay, and if they're declining, they don't need to fill out that.
No. If they decline, they mark the decline box, they sign, and then you don't ever have to do anything again. And then as soon as AHS gets that check, they send a whole home warranty packet of all their information that's covered to the new homeowner. So that's the basic way that it works.
Yeah. And I have another question, but when it comes to the no obligation, if the seller has that and they've gotten a home inspection and there's something that they end up wanting to cover, who pays for that?
That they want to cover, so an additional item. So,
so something comes up during the inspection, and it is, it is something that would normally be covered in the warranty or whatever. That's the whole gist of the no obligation is that you don't pay for it.
Right.
Hire a person who pays for that replacement. She was saying that if something comes up during an inspection and the seller has no obligation coverage, that they can fix it or they can get it replaced.
Right.
She says they pay for it in the insurance period, regardless of whether or not the warranty is that.
Right, so say the deal falls apart after that inspection or whatever, and they've already gotten the thing replaced.
Oh yeah, it's fine. Nobody gets a bill. It's part of their honor, no obligation. The only thing that you would have to pay for is that $75 policy.
But the pre-closing no obligation coverage is
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can only do the shield essential for your seller. I believe that's what she said. Right? Where are we looking? The page right now.
Right above the total and sign.
It looks like you can ask for $65.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Through any of the packages.
But if you do shield essentials, I can't for $65 bump up the shield complete. You know, it's still a point level.
Well, you don't pump up. What that 65 does is add seller coverage. That's the way I read it anyway.
One of the rules,
Yeah.
same covered items within the
So you can't buy the seller obligation the seller's coverage without the buyers. So it looks like they just changed.
It looks like if you
They
want
just
that
flipped
seller
it.
coverage, you add $65 to whatever.
Which is how it was before also. It's actually showing up to, adding it in my head, it's actually the same price. So prices haven't changed. It's just they shifted everything.
Let me be sure. List your house. What do I do to start the clock ticking on my no obligation seller coverage?
It's my house that you're listing. I just have to accept. I'm going to sign it. It doesn't really matter at this point who's paying for it. Let's say as my realtor, you say, I will buy this for you if your house closes, which happens a lot in the office. A lot of agents buy home warranties for their clients.
But I don't want to obligate myself to paying.
Right. So I just sign it. That's all we need as in company. I just need a signature that says that somebody's accepting it. At that point, it doesn't matter who's paying for it.
Okay, so that gives me a period of time up to 6 months.
Yeah, up to 18 months.
Well, 6 months.
In increments. And I do that. I get notifications when I need to basically renew that. So which is probably, Jim, what happened the other day.
Somebody stuck that in my box.
Yeah.
Well, let me just be sure. So I list your house. Fill out this form. You as the seller says I accept the rent. So now the clock is ticking on my no obligation period. During which the house is ostensibly 6 months. I get to 6 months or 5 months, whatever. I got to buy it. So at that point, I have a conversation with you again and with my buyer about whether or not you want to provide the home warranty to the buyer post closing. You say no. So I'm not under any obligation to pay for the retroactive period. You're under no obligation to pay going forward.
No, you just contact me and say I want to cancel it.
But for the period of time in which the ERA sign is in your yard, I'm okay to put a home warranty tag on that sign. Because you have said you're okay with the warranty. With the warranty.
Well, George, I think you're making it too complicated.
Well, I just want to know when I can advertise it as a home warranty.
If your seller agrees to the home warranty program, whether it's just for the buyer or both, that's when you can push aside.
I understand that.
I think your seller should be prepared. If we're saying there's a home warranty, they should be accepting that they will pay that.
I appreciate that, but technically they don't have to.
No, technically, let's say the other buyer's agent never drove by the house. You didn't put it on MLS that there is a home warranty provided. They write a buy-sell. They don't include it in the buy-sell. And it comes to us and nobody knows about it. Technically you could cancel it.
No,
I
am overcomplicating, but I'm only you.
There would be two reasons for your seller to have a home warranty. Number one, as a marketing tool. Number two, because they don't want to spend one dime on fixing any of their appliances because their house is on the market. So I guess that's two different ways of, there could be a home warranty and you don't ever advertise that.
But here is a scenario, possible scenario. we're obligated to disclose everything to everybody at all times. So we had a conversation with the seller when I take it to the listing, and I say, I really strongly encourage you to consider providing a home warranty. And one of the things we can do is to provide a home warranty on your property for that period of time during the listing. And what you need to know in the interest of full disclosure is when we get an offer, you're not obligated to continue to offer that to the buyer.
I think that's okay, go ahead.
That
Seems a little deceptive.
Yeah, you could get yourself in trouble.
Well, I could get myself in trouble if the seller decided that they did not want to
But
continue the coverage.
that's their obligation, not you.
Okay, so let's say the buyer makes an offer, it's kind of low, it's a lowball offer. At that point, I guess the seller could say, since we have lowered our price substantially, I no longer want to offer you this home warranty. But that should all be a discussion. It has to be negotiated. It can't be, never mind.
You can't put it in that you're listing property. If you put that out of it, if you don't want to do it, if you don't do the process.
Well, that's a way of styling it. If you get an aggressive seller and you don't tell them that they can not offer it going forward, then you can have something come back on you and say, you didn't tell them that. I can withdraw my warranty offer. I'm not going to pay for it.
Well, I wouldn't really promote that you can withdraw it.
That's
I'm not promoting the word disclose.
Yeah, so I bring up one thing up on that myself. If I'm in a listing presentation and I'm talking to the seller, I would probably say a home warranty is a great idea because it's something like that during the inspection that you were not previously aware of. There's a good chance of being covered. And here's the information we get nobody that you can't feel how better understand what's not. That would be critical and good way to get them covered, right? It's the inspection that people mistake out over. And there's a very good chance things will come up in inspection. And so if they're not known pre-existing conditions, they're probably going to be covered.
Yeah, there was an issue with, Denise had a listing and it was someone in Livingston was selling it. And the inspection came back and it was a pretty intensive inspection, pages and pages and pages. And the agent says, well, if I just offer you a home warranty, can we keep the deal together? And it doesn't really work like that. It's not, and it is possible. So if a tech comes out to your house and says, this is a detectable condition, pre-existing, it's not covered, and you say, no, it's not, I had no idea, and you go back and forth, they can say, well, let me see the inspection report, but they can't require it. So if it's yeah, but that's not a solution to an inspection report. So I would never say, whatever shows up in the inspection report, don't worry because you have a home warranty. Yeah, and she's really great. Like, if you ever come into a situation, she will go to her higher ups and get waived and get things.
oh, I can put that. I gotta go to work, Doug. I mean, I'm just go back home and go to
The other
work.
thing that may take 2 or 3 or 4 different different outcomes and different issues.
Right.
It's a service fee. So,
Yeah. Well, Cheryl, you guys do a ton of home warranties. How do you usually present it to your sellers? Or did Sue just say, you should do this? Yeah. Pollyanna buys it a lot for her clients. It gets taken out of the commission. Yeah, or it's a nice thing. Lori Andrews has done this. If your client buys it, he'll be like, "Well, that refrigerator, it looks pretty old. I'll throw in that $20. I'll add something here." Yeah.
Value added.
And sometimes saying, maybe there is some history on that, but you can always add something up to 60 days after closing. So that's another good option.
But also, like, I mean, is a single family home just straight up a single family home, like a $200,000 home in Red Rock is the same coverage as a multi-million-dollar home?
Yes, but it has to be under 5,000.
So what happens if you close it?
It's more money.
Okay, so there's a separate.
It's probably about 75% more. It's not double. I mean, a normal one. So if this is, let's say, 505 for the seller's coverage, it's usually around like 860. And then also, it's more money if there's a guest in the house with people.
Okay. And what about like if you have like inviting range, like those kind of like higher end prices?
Then you get to see it.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about colors and finishes and stuff too, if you have stainless, you'll get stainless.
Yeah, they would make it it's comparable.
Right, so they wouldn't say that black is comparable to stainless, right? Because the market value
But,
and
yeah.
stainless is always higher.
I mean, if it was myself, I'd probably, the cash is a great option.
Right, because it's going to be have older stuff. But,
So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions down the line. There's a lot of components. I think it's a great marketing tool. Yeah. There's a lot of different ways.
No, Doug tends to overlook things. This piece about
What's another type of insurance that's comparable? Get this, and then I will.
No, I understand what you're saying. You do feel obligated to reveal. They don't have to.
Well,